Welcome to the Everyday Nursing Grind, where we get funky with the smart side of nursing. Let's dive into the daily hustle. Introducing our first guest, the nursing theory geek, Nurse Jorge. And joining him is our expert rehabilitative nurse, Diana. In today's episode, pyramids on the floor. Can Maslow actually save our stroke patients and our sanity?
Hey grinders, welcome back to Everyday Nursing Grind, the only podcast that admits we're all one bad shift away from crying in the supply closet. I'm Dina Banikid, your resident rehab nerd who spent the last 12 years getting stroke patients from I can't even set up to I walk to the bathroom by myself.
Hi, and I'm George Paiva, the theory geek who keeps trying to make Maslow's pyramid fit into a 1:6 nurse-to-patient ratio without losing my mind. Today, we're doing something special. We're dissecting the exact paper Dina and I just turned in for our MSN Activity 2, a deep critique of the 2023 study that tried to slap Maslow's hierarchy onto a real stroke care.
Full disclosure, we wrote the critique. So if we sound passionate, it's because we leave it while typing at 2 a.m. with cold coffee.
Exactly. So grab your stethoscope and your emotional support water bottle. Let's talk about whether this pyramid is just another pretty PowerPoint slide or something that can actually change outcomes when the call lights are going off like slot machines.
Alright, George. Quick refresher for anyone who hasn't stared at this pyramid since nursing school orientation. Maslow said people gotta eat, breathe, and feel safe before they can worry about feeling loved or becoming their best self. 5 levels, bottom to top: physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization.
In nursing school, it sounds so beautiful. Yeah, I believe also. On a real stroke floor at 3 a.m. when Mr. Chen is deciding and his wife is crying in the hallway, that's when you realize you can't jump to let's work on your life goals until the man can swallow without choking.
And that's exactly what the 2023 Wang study tried to test. 136 first-time stroke patients, ages 50 to 80, all able to communicate, split into 2 groups of 68. Control group got the usual: discharge teaching and a couple phone calls. Observation group got a full Maslow-based case management team. Attending doc, head nurse, experienced bedside nurse, and a psychiatrist.
They build individualized care plans that's deliberately hit every level of the pyramid. And they kept it going from admission to 3 weeks in a hospital plus follow-up at first, third, and the 6 months.
Let me hit you with the numbers that made us sit up straight. After 3 weeks, the Maslow group had better neurological recovery, lower in IHSS scores, way better living skills, eating, dressing, walking, bathing, higher Bartle and modified Bartle index, higher quality of life scores on the stroke impact scale, fewer complications, 16% versus 32% in the standard group, and patient satisfaction jumped from 59% to 81%.
And the logistic regression said the Maslow model itself was an independent predictor of good outcomes. Odds ratio 1.523. That's not small.
Right. So on paper it worked. But George, you were the one who tore into the method sections like it owed you money. Tell the listeners why we just roll this out tomorrow morning.
Okay, real talk first. It was a retrospective, non-randomized, single center in one Chinese hospital. No blinding, no prospective data collection. Selection bias is basically guaranteed. In 2026, regulators want pragmatic RCTs or step wedge designs before they change guidelines.
And the patient population? They kicked out anyone with diabetes, heart failure, tumors, severe bleeding, or cognitive impairment. So basically, every complicated stroke patient we actually seen on the floor got excluded.
Exactly. Then, there's the staffing fantasy. Dedicated case manager like the psychiatrist rounding, 30 minutes daily family facilitation, twice daily rehab sessions, weekly group storytelling. In what universe? We're already running 125 or 1.6 on MedSearch and praying that the float pool shows up. Well, WHO is still projecting multi-million nurse shortages. This model is beautiful on paper, but really terrifying on a Tuesday when 3 nurses called in for sick leave.
But here's where I push back a little. And this is in our paper too. The strengths are real. It's one of the few studies that actually operationalize every level of Maslow into concrete actions you can chart. Turning every 2 hours, privacy screens for toileting, daily grooming so patients feel human again, praising every tiny win. Those aren't fancy. They're things good nurses already try to do when we're not drowning.
And the continuity piece, following patient out to 6 months with family involvement, that's where we lose so many people. Fragmented transitions are, that's why our 30-day readmission rates for stroke are still ugly.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room that we wrote a whole section on: culture, tech, and interdisciplinary drama.
So, okay, Maslow's was a white American guy in the 1940s. His pyramid screams like individualism. It's like, reach your full potential, be your best self. Where in collective cultures, and we see this every day with our Filipino, Chinese, Latino families, the top of the pyramid might actually be like saying, take care of my family, or don't be a burden. Well, the study was done in China, where family involvement is culturally natural. So, I believe it worked. Drop the exact same script in a BCUS urban hospital with patients who have no family nearby or who comes from a totally different value system. I think it's gonna feel forced.
In technology, the study had zero digital components. No wearables, no tele-rehab, no AI risk flags. In 2026, we've got ambient sensors and apps that can remind patients to do their exercises. But Maslow doesn't tell us how to balance that with human touch. We can't let the pyramid become an excuse to ignore the digital divide either.
Interdisciplinary is the one place it actually shines. The model forced the doctors, the nurses, psychiatrists, and therapists to sit down and plan around the same 5 level instead of siloed orders. That's huge. But again, it requires time and protected meeting space that most hospitals don't give us.
So where does that leave us in the everyday grind?
Practical takeaway number 1, you don't need a full multidisciplinary Maslow's committee to start using this. Just pick one patient tomorrow and deliberately ask, have I met their physiological and safety needs before I push them on belonging or esteem? Sometimes that's as simple as making sure the room is quiet so they can actually sleep, or protecting their dignity while you change their underwear or their brief.
Number 2, document the small wins. When Mr. Rivera finally feeds himself one bite without spilling, chart it and tell him, hell yeah, look at you, getting your independence back. That's esteem level and it costs 30 seconds.
Number 3, fight for the system change we actually need. The study proves holistic care works, but only if we have the staffing and the time. So when administration talks about patient-centered care, we hand them this paper and say, cool, here's what it's actually cost in nurse hours.
And for our rehab colleagues listening, this is your lane. Early mobilization within 48 hours, speech therapy, cognitive work, occupational therapy. That's literally the self-actualization level. We're not just preventing contractures, we're giving people their lives back.
And the last thing, and this is straight from our conclusion, like D9I, Maslow isn't perfect. It's been criticized for weak empirical grounding and Western bias. But the core idea is people aren't just bodies to be fixed, and that still holds. When we treat the whole person, outcome gets better. Fewer pressure injuries, fewer infections, happier patients that actually do their home exercise because they feel seen and important.
That's the win we're all grinding for, right? Not the perfect pyramid, just better days for the people who trust us with their worst moments.
So, here's your homework, grinders. Next shift, pick one patient to your hospital or wherever clinic you are and run the 5 levels in your head during the handoff. Then come tell us how it went. Tag us on whatever app you're using or drop a voice note. We read and listen to every single one of you.
And if you're an educator or manager, share the Wang 2023 paper with your team. Link is in the show notes. American Journal of Translational Research 15, pages 4,132 to 4,141. We also attach our full critic if you want a deeper dive.
Thanks for grinding with us today. I am George Paiva.
And I'm Dina Banikid.
Keep showing up.
Keep advocating.
And remember,
even on the hardest days,
you're still someone's safe place.
Welcome to Everyday Nursing Grind. Today, Maslow's hierarchy for stroke patients.
Physiological needs first, but what about the weird stuff?
Like craving fries during therapy?
Exactly. Or demanding a pet llama.
We need a new pyramid for this!